I get that not everyone's religious, but I feel like with the demise of going to church and like the rise of casual evangelicalism, people are losing the daytime formality dress code. Does that make sense? Like back in the day, when people dressed up to go to church, it wasn't party wear, it wasn't club wear, it wasn't casual. It was a certain type of dressed up for daytime, I don't know, more conservative. And now I feel like it's either casual or party for a lot of younger generations. And I mean, it makes sense why they wouldn't know if they're not going to church or anywhere where they would need that attire. But it's like this hole that I feel like is actually growing in like the American cultural like lexicon. There's like black tie, club, casual, athleisure. And we used to have like this other thing. Everything's getting congealed.
Let me just, well, let me just say this. With with every historical recording of any civilization, when people rejected God or moved God out of the way, it always, especially with attire or dress code, things always got worse. And to say that America's any different would just be a lie. The more we remove God from our schools, the more we reject God in how we move politically, the more we push forward laws and lifestyles that are unnatural, which is the word that the Bible uses, the more we move those things forward, the more it affects our culture, the more it affects, the generations to come. Because just as a direct result, they're not taught to be modest. They're not taught dress code. And they're not seeing it. So what are they going to do? They're going to exhibit what they're seeing, and they're going to do it 10 times as much, because they're, in a sense, more foolish, more wild, more rebellious. So I'm not surprised by her observation, and I'd have to agree that there's just this either an unawareness or just a lack of caring altogether in how provocative people show up in different spaces. It doesn't just have to, she listed the club, but even in black tie events, I've seen I've seen women wearing see-through dresses that were supposed to be formal, like see-through. All you see is maybe their bra and their panties. And then the same thing, and I will be honest and say there's maybe a sense of just bias, natural bias. Maybe bias is the wrong word, but I don't really pay attention to what men are wearing, and it has to just be extremely provocative to think like, oh man, what is that guy wearing? And the times I usually see guys wearing provocative things, it's usually like guys who are gay and they're trying to dress like women. Now, where straight men have changed, it's like they want to get their nails painted, which I don't know. I've heard people say that men used to get their nails painted. I don't know. I don't know. But I will say, because I grew up seeing that women painted their nails and men didn't, it's something I would never be comfortable with. Like, just don't paint your nails. That's for women. You don't wear purses. That's for women. So I don't see it as much with men, honestly, just because maybe I'm not in those spaces. But and I think we're just more of a culture to where women are dressing in a way to where they feel liberated. So I see it more often in that sense. But even if we talk about the athleisure wear, it's like some of the things I'm seeing women wear in the gym is insane. I'm like, yo, this is still a public space. like, it's interesting, but this is a great observation, and I think a great conversation. And I wouldn't even say we're losing the dress code. I don't think this new generation ever really had it, especially considering social media, what's on there, and how they're seeing how older people are dressing. So some of them never had it. I thank God that I grew up in a home with my mom and my dad. There's a standard there, and when I left the house, I did whatever I wanted to do. I lived a godless lifestyle, but it was never like I lost the reverence for how I'm supposed to dress in public spaces. So, but it is a real thing. Let's let her finish up, see what else she had to say.
Into the main pillars of athleisure, casual, black tie, and club. And I wish we had more diversity. Where's business? Where's the daytime upscale? How do you even call that? I don't know.
There's actually a thing now to where there are women who their whole social media platform is about modest dressing, because it's almost like they see a problem there and they're addressing it. It's just not popular. In fact, I've even seen it to where some women, they're Christian now, and they've been convicted by how they used to dress in the gym, how they used to dress when they went out to the club, how they just used to dress on a day-to-day basis. They felt, and they they felt like it wasn't right, and so by the guidance of the Holy Spirit, they moved forward from that type of attire to a more modest approach, and they made that part of their platform, teaching women how to, teaching and encouraging women to be more modest in their approach to fashion. And it's a real thing. Let's see what the rest of this is.
I don't know.
Oh, the rest is her saying she don't know. But yeah, I agree. It's a great observation. At the end of the day, I don't necessarily see it getting better. I don't see it getting better holistically, but I will say individually, there are people who are definitely making, conscious decisions to approach fashion and approach their dress code in a way that's modest and or honorable based off either traditional views, conservative views, or their faith altogether. And it's one of those things. I think you can have an impact. It's not as popular now. Like, what's popular now is how much can we get away with? How much skin can we show without being naked? How much cleavage can I show without showing it all? Because it's at a point now to where there are certain things like I see, I'm just like, whoa, this is insane. Even being at the gym, I've seen some guys in some shorts. I'm like, yo, why are they shorts so short? I'm talking about incredibly short. So, yeah, the dress code is is crazy now. But at the same time, it's like it could be a bit of a legalistic approach when people are talking about dress code, because some people have certain convictions, certain people have certain bodies, and they just feel like no matter what they wear, their features are going to show. And hey, it's just a conversation, and I believe it comes down to a heart issue and having, as I say a lot of times, a good community that can help walk you through, if you're approaching your fashion and your dress code decisions in a healthy way. And then most importantly, you can always pray about it and ask God to help you, and He will. He'll help us all. There's certain changes I've made as a man, just in terms of how I approach it, just because I'm seeing so much of this like, it seems like masculinity is not as much of a thing anymore. So it's like, I remember, just real quick story, I remember being at the nail salon, just getting a regular manicure, and they were asking, like, do you want the clear nail polish on your nails? I'm like, no, because now I see a lot of men wearing clear nail polish and they're super feminine. So it's like, a lot is changing, and I don't want to be a part of changes that pull me further away from the things that are definitive in my life, like my faith, my masculinity, my reverence for church, my respect for others. Like there's certain things I'm just not interested nor willing to do. But y'all let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.